little smoky. Hi guys, this is Heidi and you're watching HeidiKMakeup. I just filmed this look and I hope that you guys like it. If you want to see how I did it, be sure to keep watching. So I just took my makeup off because I wanted to redo this. This is going to be a talking tutorial because I don't know if I have time to edit a voiceover. So hopefully it won't be too long. I'm going to go ahead and start out with the eyes because some of the shadows that I'm using today have quite a bit of fallout to them. So I want to do the eyes first and then the face second. So for primer, I'm using my Wet n Wild Fergie primer. I'm going to put some under my eyes as well to give my concealer something to stick to. Then because I'm using quite dark shades, I want to make sure that they really stick to my eye. So I'm going to use a base as well. And you can use any base. A dark base would be great too. But I'm just going to use my Flower Beauty Good as Marigold cream eyeshadow. It's just a shimmery gold. The palette that I'm using today is the Urban Decay Feminine Palette. I don't think that they sell this anymore, but the shade that I'm using, the main shade, is going to be Gunmetal, which I believe is in one of their Naked palettes, and I think you can buy it individually as well. But it's not a very unique shade. You don't have to use these exact shades. It should be noted that Urban Decay is owned by a parent company that tests. This is part of my Project Focus, so I am trying to get through it. Any shade you have that's kind of that gunmetal shade, and just a flat brush, and I'm going to go ahead and pack that all over the lid. It's going to look pretty dark, and this is going to kind of end up looking a little bit like Simply Alex's look that she did. She did a 20s inspired look when I did my 40s inspired look. We did a collab together. I'll link both of those down below so you can see kind of how her cool toned smoky eye turned out. Next, I'm going in with a really soft brush and I'm just going to gently dab it into this Lost shade. This might have been limited edition, but it looks a lot like Urban Decay's Snakebite if you have one of the Naked palettes. I think that's in the Naked 2. And we're just going to coat that through the crease. For the highlight, I'm going to use Skimp. It's just a matte highlight shade. Wet n Wild Brulee is a good comparison. The whole eye look is really kind of smoky and messy. Next, I'm going to go in with my liner, and I'm going to use just kind of like a smoky liner. This is by Too Faced. This is my Perfect Eyes Waterproof Eyeliner. Look how close I am to being done with that, you guys. Next, I'm going to go over the top of that liner and set it. You could use black for this, but I'm actually going to use just a really dark brown shade. I'm going to use this super dark shade from my Wet n Wild I'm Getting Sunburnt palette, this middle one. This has a lot of fallout to it, so I want to use it wet, so I'm just going to drop a little of the e.l.f. Lock and Seal onto my brush. You could use water too, or if you have like a mist and set spray, that would work too. I'm also going to put that in my waterline. You could put liner in your waterline too, but I find the powder stays a little bit longer and doesn't transfer to my contacts quite as badly. We're going to do mascara next. The mascara I'm using is this e.l.f. Volumizing and Defining Mascara. This would be a really good look to use lashes for too. I don't have any on hand right now, so I'm not going to, but usually with darker looks I like to use lashes. So if you have any lashes, that would be great. The Ardell 301s are my favorite, but I don't have any on hand. And I feel like this look is really dark, so I'm gonna go back in with that highlight shade Skimp and put it on the inner corner. It's still gonna be pretty smoky, but then it'll be a little bit brighter. Moving on to skin, I want my face to be really bright because the eyes are so dark. I want a lot of luminosity to it. So I'm gonna go in with my Physicians Formula Youthful Wear Foundation, but I'm gonna mix it with the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in Moonstone, so it still has quite a bit of luminosity to it because my skin is really dry and it can look pretty dull. So I want it to kind of have a glow to it. I'm just gonna mix that all together. With this particular foundation, I like to use my hands. For concealer, I'm going in with my Kat Von D Tattoo Concealer under my eyes, and I do have like a couple blemishes just kind of here and there. I really want to clean up under there so it doesn't look like I got punched in the eye, because sometimes I'm a little hesitant to do smoky eyes because I feel like it just really brings out those dark circles. Then I want to brighten up under there, so I'm going to use a shade that's lighter than my skin tone. This is by e.l.f. And I'm going to do the triangle trick. For blush, I'm going to go in with my Flower Beauty Primrose and Proper Cream Blush. I love cream blush with my dry skin. Then I want the whole thing to just look really highlighted, so I'm going to go back in with that Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector and put that on kind of my orbital bone. So not just on the high points of my cheek, but also kind of around my whole eye area, all the way up even to above my brow. Now if you wanted to, here's where you could apply powder. I'm gonna leave it because my skin is so dry. I love the luminosity that it's creating. And I'm gonna go ahead and put a little blush over my cream blush. I'm gonna use my Nars Deep Throat. Now Nars is also owned by a parent company that tests. I'm going to go in and set the highlight, and for that I'm going to use my Too Faced Candlelight highlight. And I don't want to contour, but I do want to use a little bit of bronzer. This is my Too Faced Sun Bunny bronzer, and I'm just going to put it kind of this back area of my cheek just to look a little bit more bronzy. For brows, I'm going to go in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Gel in Caramel. And the tail of this brow is just a tiny bit longer than the tail of this brow, so I'm going to lengthen this one just a tiny bit using my e.l.f. brow pencil. It's not quite the right shade, so I don't want to be too dramatic with this. Just extend it just like the tiniest bit, so you look a little bit more even. And last for lips, if you wanted to, you could use a more neutral lip color, but I'm going to go in with something bright. This is my Hard Candy All Glossed Up Hydrating Lip Stain in Mauvelous. And it's a little too bright pink, so I'm going to top it with this Plum shade by Mad Gabs. My sister-in-law actually gave this to me because she knew I was on a no-buy. And I did check with them. They say no animal testing on the back, but I sent them an email and they are in fact cruelty-free. I think she bought this in Maine. And that's the complete look. I hope that you guys enjoyed getting ready with me using some of my project focus stuff. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet hit the subscribe button, go ahead and do that so the next time I do a video, you'll know about it. You can also see what my family is up to every day by subscribing to our daily channel, which is Sudden Kimpact, or my parenting channel, which is HeidiKMTV. All that's linked down below. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys. I just filmed my first hair tutorial. It's kind of a mess, but I wanted to show you how I did this little sock bun updo, and it has like a tiny little braid that wraps around that's kind of like a little peekaboo hidden braid. This is one of my last looks for my 30-day hair challenge.